The Human Value Institute is a nonprofit based out of Seattle, Washington, with offices in San Diego, California. And it is focused on research, education, and collaboration from a medical and well-being perspective. One of our first areas of focus is Cuba. In order to do that, we have formed a partnership with the Cross-Cultural Journeys. Cross-Cultural Journeys brings some of the most robust programming and experiences for people from the U.S. About Cuba. Cultural experiences, community experiences, food and dining experiences, and then on our trip we'll be building bridges with healthcare organizations in Cuba. The U.S. has a lot to learn from Cuba. Our focus is on the healthcare sector. Our focus is on prevention. And what the U.S. can learn from Cuba has to do with the fact that for decades now, Cuba has been not only training some of the best doctors in the world, but exporting those doctors to countries in need or countries that don't have access to great medicine and medical advice. Additionally, Cuba has had a community health model with a doctor set up for every 100 citizens, and that doctor is typically within walking distance. And lastly, for many, many years, Cuba has had a prevention is cheaper than illness model. This model has meant that there's a focus on healthy decisions and healthy lifestyles. That's not been without highly concerning practices and processes, but it has been a practice that has enabled Cuba to have some of the best health outcomes in the world. The U.S. is superior in so many ways as far as medical advancements go. Innovation, research, great advancements in funding around some of the toughest diseases that we face. The one that we'll be focusing on is diabetes, and we know that diabetes has higher prevalence in certain ethnicities. We also know that diabetes comes from a lifestyle that's based on a Western diet that's high in sugar and high in other unhealthy substances. We believe that the U.S. has an opportunity, almost like we have a crystal ball and we can see the future for Cuba, to help Cuba stave off and mitigate some of the harmful effects of diabetes, if in fact the Western diet begins to make its way in a more prominent way into the Cuban culture and lifestyle. We know that medical schools and doctors have been going to Cuba for many years, and we know that there's an interest, and we want to be a part of, at the Human Value Institute, we want to be a part of building that bridge that is beyond just a people-to-people tour, which is critically important, but goes beyond that into relationships that doctors can remain in touch and share and attend conferences together and truly in practice apply some of the methods of prevention and disease management.